Hello everyone. This is Ariana from SplitMetrics, and it's so good to have you joining today's webinar. I am the product marketing manager for SplitMetrics, and I am thrilled to welcome you on what will be a great, and I rather say a very insightful session. And while we allow a bit more time for other people to join us, I would like to share a bit more with you on what today's webinar is all about, as I'm sure you are all very excited to hear what's coming with today's presentation. So obviously, the webinar today is about AI. So our special speakers will be sharing how we got to where we are with AI, but specifically, you'll be able to learn a lot during the session regarding how you can apply AI within the digital marketing context. So we hope you will find the session really helpful, as we will be sharing some amazing insights that can really help you with your app growth, but also while you optimize your work. And then you can also expect some room for Q&A at the end. So if you have any questions at all, please feel free to pop them in the chat, and we'll make sure to address them live during the session. And now I would like to introduce you all to our speakers. And so we have two special speakers joining us for this exciting presentation. We've got our SplitMetrics Director of Data and AI, Andre, and our SplitMetrics Agency General Manager, Thomas. I would like to thank you both for joining us today. And without any further ado, I can pass it over to you both to tell us a bit more about your background and to dive into what AI can and can't do for app growth.
Yes, perfect. Thank you very much, Ariana, and also hello from my side to the audience. My name is Thomas, and as already mentioned, it's a pleasure for me to be here today in this webinar and together with the co-host, Andre, talk about what AI can and can't do for your app growth today. Depending on wherever on this planet you are, either, good evening, good afternoon, good noon, or good morning. And I would say let's get started with our session for today. Before we jump into the topic of AI and before we talk about app growth in general, I think we should go one step back in history and first start a little bit about the topic of marketing. Because in the beginning, when marketing was started as a discipline, it was all about instincts. The one who had the best gut feelings was the one who had the best performing campaigns. After that, it took some time actually, but after that came data. Data made it possible to analyze the effectiveness of campaigns and to figure out what is working and what is not. After that came tools. Tools made it able for marketers to be more efficient on the one hand side, but on the other hand side, even better analyze what is happening and what is working and what is not. And right at the moment, we are entering the next stage. And this is the deep integration of AI into everything that is being done with marketing. But let me tell you this. AI alone won't fix your app marketing. AI is like a tool, it's like a hammer, and it needs a human being to build a house. Without the human being, it will not be able to build a house. And this is one of the core pillar stones of our session today. And not only that, I would say, because for today's session, we also prepared something very special for you. Because we're going to look at the topic of AI from 2 points of view. On the one hand side, from the view of a marketer, and on the other hand side, from the view of an AI scientist. My name is Thomas. I'm the general manager over here at the SplitMetrics Agency. I can look back to more than 20 years working in digital marketing and app growth. I'm the co-founder of AppRadar, which is an app store optimization tool which got acquired by SplitMetrics. I'm leading the AI-powered growth initiatives within the SplitMetrics Agency and also helping throughout the SplitMetrics ecosystem. And I would consider myself not only a marketer, but also a practitioner, because I personally launched more than 50 apps and games to the app stores. And next with me, I have Andre, handing the mic over to you.
Thank you, Thomas. Hello, everyone. My name is Andre. I'm the Director of Data and AI in SplitMetrics, working here for about 3 years now. So my background is in mathematics, and I worked across many industries, from quantitative finance to clinical trials analysis, before landing in digital marketing, where I happily worked for the last 7 years. And we are going to cover a lot of topics today. Without many spoilers, there will be some, really terrifying charts, maybe, or at least one. And let's get to it.
Perfect. Let's jump into it. Yeah. Before we jump now into the topic of AI, just one slide around SplitMetrics for the guys who are new to us and don't know us yet. SplitMetrics is an ecosystem of AI-driven products and services enabling app growth. We're a team of 160 experts located in 20 countries, and we're trusted by some of the top apps, some of the top chart-storming apps within the app stores, like, for example, companies like Wargaming, Flow, Barber, FreeNow, NordVPN, and many more trust us. We're an official app research ads partner, and we're managing more than 600 million in annual ad spend through our product, SplitMetrics Acquire. And yeah, we're being loved by more than 800 clients, which is also shown in the ratings and also in the awards that we're receiving. And let me tell you this, we're also loving our clients back. So, Andre, what do we have on the agenda for today?
Right. So we are going to cover the current state of AI and also how we got here. Our aim is to make it easier to understand how to apply AI for improved results in the context of app marketing, and also how to do it by combining two different worlds and making not that different, the scientists and the marketers. For those of you who are still a bit skeptical, understandably, about AI and only getting started, we hope to make you feel more confident and AI ready leaving this webinar. And if you're already actively trying to improve your advertising results and returns with AI, we might be able to provide with some additional input and tips and tricks how to optimize your marketing efficiency.
That sounds great. So, in other words, what are we going to talk about today? Oh, unfortunately without sound. So you have to imagine that it is about AI, 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 AI. This is the topic that we're going to talk about today. Yeah, but jokes aside, yeah, it would have been a very funny video if it would have worked. But jokes aside, yeah, AI is everywhere. You know, I've been in the marketing game now since more than 20 years, and out of a sudden, you know, AI is everywhere. It doesn't matter which presentation I'm checking out. It doesn't matter which website I'm visiting. Doesn't matter which social media app I'm opening up. Every pitch deck, AI is everywhere in every meeting, and it is a topic. It is surrounding. But also here, you know, I would say one of the big downsides with all those AI news happening left and right and all and every end, you know, I think it's also hopefully I'm not the only one who is completely overwhelmed with all this news. So therefore, also, you know, like I'm making a quick pour for you guys, how you're feeling, you know, like with this AI stuff that is happening. You know, for me personally, if I'm having the feeling that I'm not checking out new AI tools on a weekly basis, I'm already having some sort of FOMO and might be losing the track to what is happening. So therefore, you know, like also quick pour here for you guys. How do you feel? How do you feel with all this AI stuff going on? Is it a little bit much, or can you still handle it? Interested to see here then also the results of the pour. Yeah, as we thought, yeah. So 80% are kind of agree that it is overwhelming. Yeah, let's face the truth. Yeah, it's really overwhelming because once again, it is, you know, happening so many things. And I think we can say, long story short, is really AI is everywhere. And not only that, but Andre, what can you add here as well from your side?
Yeah, so this is the terrifying chart I announced at the beginning. It shows you across several disciplines, several areas of you know, human activity, various tasks, how AI compares to human baseline. So basically against average human performance. And you can look at stuff from image classification to basically very high level multitask language understanding, and even competition level mathematics. So think mathematical Olympiads of the highest level. And you can see that already by the early 2020s, the performance of the machines surpassed, in many cases, surpassed the human performance. So this happened with image classification quite some time ago. So, for example, the post codes handwritten machines are much better than humans in doing this. So this was long outsourced to machines in the postal departments. But nowadays, a bit frighteningly, machines are also better than humans in complex language understanding, and they're approaching human performance in levels such as mathematics, I would say even research level mathematics. So this is really, scary stuff. This is Skynet stuff. But I mean, luckily for us, AI means artificial intelligence, not artificial intuition. So some things are still not replaceable. And the good news is that AI is actually not magic. It's based on solid mathematical and statistical principles. And this removes a bit of charm about AI, but also makes it, less frightening to work with. And another piece of good news is that you don't have to understand everything and like details of algorithms in order to be a practitioner and to get some useful results with AI. So you just need to understand like what's the most important in things in your problem. So what is operationable, what can be outsourced to AI, and actually look at the opportunities from this angle. So what these tools can do for you. Now, if we go a bit back in time and try to understand how we end up with this current situation where AI is basically everywhere and penetrates, every business and every industry, we can look back in 1950s where the groundwork, the foundational work was done by people like Alan Turing and also by people like Claude Shannon, the father of information theory, Marvin Minsky, who was a co-founder of AI Lab in MIT. And these people, there was a small group of mathematicians who gathered in 1956 in Dartmouth College, so almost 70 years ago, and they said that, look, we will sit together and during the summer and in a few months we will do sufficient work in order to enable thinking machines, reflecting machines that can approach human behavior. It's not that difficult, they said. Like, how naive was that back in 1950s? So after this initial hype, it was probably the first hype of AI era. Understandably, there was some disillusion, and a winter of AI happened where people became less enthusiastic. But nevertheless, progress continued, and the technological advances in different areas affected the overall progress in AI field. So, for example, databases in development in the late 1970s and 1980s, helped manage this huge amount of data, without which the current AI would have been impossible. And also, increase of computing power allowed marketers to, really start doing personalized marketing campaigns back in 1990s. So fast forward to 2000, and social media starting to appear. Things like Google AdWords and Facebook ads appeared, and this was probably the first time where the people started to use machine learning on an industrial scales for personalized marketing and processing this huge amount of data that they collected from search and from social networks. Now, 2010s is a dawn of the era of conversational AI. So think about your most favorite or most hated chatbot. Think about Alexa. Think about Siri. So these big players started to experiment and introduce to the wide audience the conversational AI, and also recommendation engines fueled by streaming TV by companies like Netflix. Also, and Amazon, of course, so the era of retail. They also heavily relied on these new increased AI capabilities. And now in 2020s, so less than 3 years ago, there was, of course, a breakthrough in generative AI when OpenAI released their latest that 3.5 ChatGPT model, which took everything by surprise, and people were fascinated by these capabilities that AI provided them with. And what I described to you so far was AI evolution.
And I'm gonna take this one step back in history again, yeah, because for me, to be honest, it's not only an AI evolution, for me, it's an AI revolution, which we're currently taking place of. And when we look back in history, I think there is a pattern which we have already seen in the history that happened. I was a little bit inspired to come up with this kind of like similarities and trying to find out how we can draw a picture for how the future might be looking like. Because I think I'm not the only one, but there are conversations happening within our friends, with our peers, where one elephant question in the room is, okay, AI is popping up, AI is getting smarter. What will we as human beings be doing in the future? How will this look like? And here, as mentioned, I think we can draw some similarities with the Industrial Revolution that happened more than 100 years ago, which was kicked off more than 100 years ago. Because what we can see here is the phase number one of the Industrial Revolution, and now looking very closely at how cars are being manufactured. What we can see here on the screenshot or on this photo is from the years back. You see an assembly line. On this assembly line, a car is being produced, and you see many human beings next to this assembly line kind of building the car together. Fast forward around about 80 years, we're seeing phase number two, which is hybrid work. On this picture, you're seeing a manufacturer within the assembly line who is using a very heavy machine, a very heavy robot, and together they are getting a very heavy job done. And now, when we look at modern in the assembly lines and modern industries, modern fabrics, what we're going to see there is actually we're going to see a lot, but not that many human beings anymore. Because we're seeing many machines, many robots, which are being controlled, which are being steered, which are being configured by humans, sitting outside of the actual manufacturing line where kind of the car is being produced. And I think kind of this picture can draw a little bit the similarities that we're also now seeing in the next revolution that is going on for our so-called knowledge jobs. We're also in the first stage, human beings went to university, spent many years there learning things in and out, kind of to being able to perform the job. After that, I think this is the stage where we currently now are. We human beings are being supported by machines, artificial intelligence in this regard, working together in a hybrid co-working mode to get the job done. And I think the future will be that we human beings will be coming more into the steering, more into the strategic decision role, whereas machines, might it be artificial intelligence, might it be agents, in which form soever, will be doing most of the work that is going to happen. And I think, to be honest, even though that the future might be a little bit scary from time to time, nevertheless, I think that Andre and I are really very pro AI with all the things that are coming, because I think it's a really amazing time area to be alive, to be honest. Yeah. And we're not the only nerds that are very much into AI. As we can see here, another nerd, Bill Gates, he mentioned that in his lifetime, he has seen 2 demonstrations of technology that struck him as revolutionary, which was on the one hand side, the graphical user interface, and on the other hand side, it was ChatGPT. But as mentioned, and also kind of coming back to the title of our presentation, yeah, AI can do a lot, yeah, but AI cannot do everything, at least yet, yeah. I remember back then in the year 2022 when ChatGPT was released. On the release day, I was spending, I think, 6 or maybe even 8 hours straight using the tool, trying to figure out what is possible, what is not. After the first minutes, it was very clear to me that this is now really a revolution happening and this will be changing the world as we know it. But after, like spending a little bit more time with it, I also soon realized, okay, it is good for some use cases, but for other use cases, it's really not there yet. Yeah. What I was trying back then is I wanted to do an app store optimization update for a Google Play app, where my goal was to incorporate some additional keywords into the long description of the Google Play app, while looking at the keyword density to make sure that the app is also getting found for those keywords that have been freshly added to the long description. And yeah, let me tell you this, I spent hours trying to figure this out with the help of ChatGPT, but it completely failed. We didn't get it to a working mode where everything was happy, where we were able to achieve the same results like I would have been doing it by myself. And let me also tell you this, ChatGPT by itself nowadays is still not capable of solving such a use case. Because simply speaking, on the one hand side, I think it's a little bit too niche, and on the other hand side, it's a little bit too complex because it involves too many steps. So AI nowadays can really be used for many tasks. Yeah, for example, it can help you with doing keyword research. It can help you coming up with keyword recommendations. However, as mentioned, it will not be able to draft the perfect store listing description for you. AI can help you brainstorming different ad copies and headlines and variations very fast. But AI alone will not be able to come up with very big emotional ideas and concepts and campaigns that you can run off without having to double check it. AI might also be able to help you brainstorming, app ideas might be able to help you brainstorming features, but AI alone will not be able to help you fix your product market fit and make your app work better for your target audience. Yeah, and maybe a last case to mention, yeah, I think what is also super important when we're talking about using AI. AI is kind of a layer on top of our data layer, which means if you have great data in place, AI will also make great sense out of this data. On the other hand side, if your data is not good, then also the results will not be good that you will be getting out of this AI. Maybe at this stage, I would say another question for our audience, because curious to hear which AI tools are you currently using for your work. Maybe also if you're currently, like not using too much of AI tools, maybe the answer could also be which tools are you looking into? Which tools do you want to use in the near future? Really curious to know kind of how AI is already integrated into your work routines on the one hand side, but also on the other hand side, interested to know which tools you're using. I guess without seeing the results yet, ChatGPT might be on this list, but curious to see also which other tools next to ChatGPT might be on this list as well. Maybe even some SplitMetrics tools, which we're also gonna tackle very soon as well. So yeah, let's see. Maybe we can get the answers to the poll. So Ariana, maybe you see the results?
Yep, I believe I've pressed shared. Hopefully you can all see the results.
I unfortunately can't. If you see them, can you just briefly, quick summary maybe, if you see them? Otherwise, we can also share it
I
afterwards.
am unable to see it at the moment. I believe it's because it's collecting as a typing answer instead of pressing yes or no. So we
Okay,
will extract this information and be able to share later.
perfect. We will share it then afterwards. Also, perfect. Okay. Good. Yeah. Then, since we have been talking about AI, I think it's also important to mention AI is not AI. But Andre, what does that mean?
Yeah, so if you think about the components or like origin maybe of the current wave of hype around AI, this would be mostly about generative AI. So the tools for creating text like ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, also tools for creating pictures like Midjourney, what have you, and even videos. These are all based on the recent breakthroughs in generative AI, essentially. However, there are other types of AI, if you like, which are very useful in the context of digital marketing. And apart from conversational AI, which of course you can use and people already use massively as chatbots and virtual assistants to help users navigate their platforms and to process customer feedback and answer their questions, there are particularly two areas of AI which I would like to focus on, zoom in on. These are prescriptive AI and predictive AI. And these types of artificial intelligence is what we use in our Samba offerings. So prescriptive AI is something that, think about automated rules for managing bids or budgets, where you have specific recommendations on what should be done on the campaign level to manage bids or budget respectively, to improve your results. And predictive AI is when you have plenty, usually very big amount of historical data, and when you use this data in order to predict at least short term the future. So you want to predict consumer behavior, you want to maybe improve your targeting, and when you combine these two types of predictive and prescriptive AI, some wonderful things can happen, where actually you can use vast amounts of data to not only to predict something, but also to automate your decisions, bid management, budget management in a smart way.
Then taking this one step further, yeah, thank you very much, Andre, for walking us through the different mechanics, I would call it, of AI, and now also using the chance to introduce SplitMetrics Samba, as already mentioned, our own AI model, our own developed AI model at SplitMetrics, which is really with the primarily goal to help you improve the results of your Apple search ads campaigns. Why is this so important? Well, let's have a look at the old way versus the new way. On the left-hand side, you can see the old way of how to run Apple search ads campaigns. Yes, it's a little bit on the high-level summary, yeah, but I think you get the point, yeah. What you can see here is that really a lot of human effort is involved while setting up your Apple search ads campaigns. It starts with researching the keywords. Then it starts with the next step is to set up the campaigns. On the campaigns, you're setting the goals. Might it be on the ad set level? Might it be on the keyword level, either for CPA targets or for ROAS targets? Once you have done that, you're tackling the topic of setting up conditions. So for example, if the share of voice is bigger than a certain amount, then do this and that, increase the bids or lower the bids. Then you set up some automations, you run those automations. But at the end of the day, you're also kind of continuously monitoring what is happening, as well as adjusting your automations. And so long story short, as mentioned, really a lot of human work is involved here in how to typically run your Apple search ads campaigns. Now let's move to the right side. Let's move to the future. And let me tell you this, the future is already here. With our latest Samba 2.5 model, it is already possible that you can see here that the human effort is being reduced really to a minimum. The model only needs the input from the human towards to which goal should it optimize the campaigns. Should it either be towards to a CPA targets or should it be towards to ROAS targets? What is then happening after the human being, after we as marketing managers give this input, our AI is collecting data from more than 60 market signals. This is obviously, information around your app, information around your niche, your category, your competitors, but also some external market signals as well that come into play. After these signals have been collected, the AI model learns from these signals and defines a strategy. After that, it starts executing on the strategy and adjusting in real time the bids with the goal, once again, to optimize towards the main target. Might it be the CPA target or might it be a ROAS target? Once this adjustment is happening, the AI automatically also analyzes the results. And based on those results, it kind of learns and trains the model even further, and which the goal, once again, to further optimize your campaigns towards to this goal that you initially set it. And here we are already in an automated optimization loop, which is happening without any human involvement. And in the background, the AI is really there to completely, I would say, fully autonomously optimize your Apple search ads campaigns, which, is saving our clients tons of hours of work while doing so, as well as also improving the results of the Apple search ads campaigns. Maybe here also a quick question to the audience. Yeah? Have you already seen AI successfully optimizing your ad campaigns in your company? So in other words, are you already using AI to optimize your user acquisition campaigns within your company? Let's wait a little bit for the answers to come in. for
I see
our
a lot of
part.
people still voting, so maybe a few more seconds for sure.
Yes. Sure. Yeah, also very curious to see, yeah, because this is once again, I think, really kind of, to be honest, the future. Yeah, as mentioned, the future is already here. But you know, AI is changing so fast, but very often we human beings are a little bit the bottleneck here that is not changing so fast. So therefore, I'm also very curious to see kind of the results of this part. Yeah, as we can see, around about 20% are already using AI to optimize their campaigns, which is really great. Yeah. And for the other 80% summed up, yeah, there's room left for improvement, guys. Yeah, there's room left for improvement. And I hope that also, like with the help of this presentation that we're sharing you here, and once again, also sharing some research with you, we will be able to convince you to give it a try. Because once again, to be honest, I think there is no way around this technology. But Andre, would be great if you could share here some research from our clients.
Yeah, sure. So, word to the audience, you are in the right place today. So at least this decision was right today for you to attend this webinar. I would say modestly, yes. Okay, so this is an example, like a practical example I want to share to you with from a customer, SplitMetrics. I can actually disclose the name. So this is for app called Babel, which is a big language learning app. You may have encountered it. So a massive app, and they try to use the Samba to optimize their campaigns, which where they have CPA targets, right? So cost per action, and obviously you want to have the acquisition happening at or below your target CPA, and ideally you want to get as many actions or conversions as possible. So at this chart, you see the blue line is the actual realized CPA on that campaign, and the red line corresponds to the target, which is set up by the customer, by a certain user acquisition manager responsible for this campaign. And you can see that the point where the red line started, it's actually when they activated the AI Samba model on this campaign. And you can see several things. So first of all, you see that the oscillation, ups and downs of the CPA, they were much wider before they turned AI on. So it helped to smoothen the ride. But more importantly, you can see that CPA practically always stayed below their target CPA, although they were not a passive user, so they actively lowered the target a few times. And AI diligently followed the user instructions and actually managed to decrease the CPA along these instructions. Yeah. So if we can move to the next slide. And so the first one, the first chart was about actually when Samba works as a combination of prescriptive and predictive AI. So remember, the predictive AI is something where you process big amounts of data in order to make a prediction for one day, and then prescriptive AI part manages the actual selection of the combination of bits to be applied on your company, and so it prescribes you a certain action and performs this action. Now, what we have as another offering is an artifact of Samba predictive models, and this is like purely predictive AI, but also useful. Is imagine you have your brand campaign, high spend campaign in a big storefront, and imagine you have a brand keyword which has a very big spend, and you rather have your manager checking it every day, and especially when a high season starts for your app. What you can profit from is a short-term prediction of cost and events or conversions, depending on the value of bid. So you look at your high spend brand keyword, you observe the current CPT bid, and first thing you want to know, how many conversions and I'm going to get tomorrow with this CPT bid, and also how much it's going to cost me, right? So the first important question. But then maybe you can be a bit explorative, and you want to know what will happen if you change this bid, like maybe 10% down or 10% up. Will you get more events, or maybe you can improve your CPA in certain way, and maybe then you can start thinking, you develop some intuition about, you know, what you can get tomorrow, and maybe you can then, as a next step, you can integrate this prediction with some automated rule, or even set up a totally automated campaign managed by AI as a result. Yeah, so it builds some trust, and it gives you some insight, especially during high seasons for your high spend keywords. Yeah.
And to be honest, Andre and I already had this conversation multiple times, and it still gives me goosebumps. Yeah, because what we're just describing, this is not theoretically. This is already real measurable success. Our AI family, our AI models family is already powering smart bidding, budget allocation, campaign performance optimization across hundreds of millions in ad spend, across hundreds of thousands of keywords. And it's not only about automation, like we said, it's about giving marketers leverage. Faster decision, lesser work, better targeting, more confident scaling, and more predictability in what is happening. What we can see here also summed up, yeah. So another case that we did when looking also at our models. One case that we can see here is that for some of our clients, we have really been able to kind of keep the spend at the same level. So once again, the spend was same, yeah. So it was the same equation. However, after enabling our AI Samba model, we were able to improve the ROAS by up to 55%, which also kind of was dragging the revenue up by 55%. So once again, just enabling AI, 55% more revenue, lesser work that was needed to get there, lesser manual work that was needed to get there. Once again, I think this is really amazing and brilliant what we're seeing here. Yeah. I think also one thing maybe to clarify here at this stage as well, yeah? Because on the one hand side, like I'm saying, this is done by AI without any human touch, yeah? But that is actually not the 100% true story, yeah? Because to build this model, there was actually a lot of human touch involvement, needed. And I think one thing that we did at SplitMetrics really great was we were teaming up on the one hand side our experts from the SplitMetrics agency who were already running manually ad campaigns on various networks for multiple years, gained tons of experience how to set up app research ads campaigns very specifically to get the most out of it, and teaming it up with our experts from the SplitMetrics AI team. And together, this human task force was working on those models where we are seeing these great results. Andre, could you also take us one level deeper, but please don't tell all our secrets.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Thomas. And I provide you a glance under the hood, but I won't go into much this specifics, or I will have a short conversation with an HR person after this webinar. We don't want that. Okay, so if you look at the architecture of Samba models, like high-level architecture, there are like three big building blocks. So first, of course, is data layer, which Thomas already mentioned is absolutely crucial for like any AI system. Like if you think now we are talking about like, predictive AI and prescriptive AI, but if you like think about any type of AI which was trained on some data, like if your data is garbage, you are not going to get good results. If you think about like generative AI models, if you train your large language model on data scraped from a conspiracy theory message board, or you say it sufficiently many times that the world is flat, it's going to reply to you that yes, the world is flat. It doesn't have any mechanism to have a feedback with reality and actually to correct and validate this data. So data is very important, and we take this data layer collection very seriously. And as also Thomas mentioned, there are over 60 market signals ranging from the structure of specific campaigns to metrics such as share of voice and search popularity that are used in order to extract these meaningful signals from the vast amount of data that are relevant in order to predict the spend and the events for each keyword in a campaign. And the next building block is actually our predictive models. And this block involves the processing part, where you need to process the data to clean it up and to really build these signals out of raw data. Then you actually do predictions. So you want to predict for each keyword and for various possible potential bit values. You want to predict how many conversions you're going to get and how much it's going to cost you for each specific keyword for one day. So short-term predictions are good enough for this business. And then there is an optimization part within this building block. So optimization is responsible for selecting the best combination of bits. So what does it mean, the best combination of bits? If you have your target CPA, so this is like the most important thing to understand, like the economics of your funnel, what is a good CPA for you, then you want to be within this target. So you only select combinations of bits that your expected overall cost and expected number of conversions are such that you are satisfied this constraint of target CPA. But if like it can be unreasonable also. So if you have, let's say, historically, you have your target, you have your CPA, like historical, maybe $100 per event, and then you suddenly put $10, you're not going to get many events. So such magic is not possible. But if it's reasonable enough, then you can see many possible combinations of bits that satisfy this target constraint, be it CPA or ROAS, for example. And then the optimization algorithm allows to select the best combination of bits in such a way that not only satisfies your constraint, be it CPA or ROAS, but also it maximizes the number of events, or it maximizes the revenue. And then at the final block, these bits are actually applied, and you get the results. You collect your revenue or your conversions. You know your spend, and you can complete this loop and move forward. Yeah. And now I'm really excited to talk about this slide, because it allows me to talk about three competitive advantages of our AI offering, Samba within SplitMetrics. So first one is already I spoke about. This is data, the data layer. So we have several sources of proprietary data. And, you know, if I learn tomorrow that our models were stolen and, you know, someone reproduced exactly our models, I wouldn't be very much concerned, because without our data, you wouldn't be able to achieve the results we have. So you also need to have access to good quality, relevant, fresh data. This is hugely important. Our second advantage is our team. And I mean, the technical team. So we have 4 PhDs in mathematics with very considerable experience in machine learning and statistics. And we also have in particular one person in the team who is a Kaggle Grandmaster. So this is like the highest achievement in the field of data science. So there are like tens of thousands of people who compete in these data science competitions every year, and there are just a few hundred of them who have this grandmaster level. So we have one of them in our team, luckily. And I would say the third and unfair competitive advantage is the this collaboration, link, and dynamics that we build between the AI technical team and the agency. And Thomas mentioned this already. So what we had when we build Samba models is we have frequent consultations with UI managers in order to understand like what are the most important signals we should extract from the data. So these over 60 signals that we mentioned earlier, they're built partly based on extensive data analysis, when we process the data and try to extract the signals that correlate with spend or correlate with events or with revenue, but also based on practical experience of UI managers that say, look, like in this auction, I would look at how search popularity changes based on the seasonality, or I would look at like I would recognize this competitor attack by looking at checking the share of voices of the corresponding keywords. And this was very useful. And this was part one. But when we deployed already the models in production, UA managers within the agency, so in-house people, they became the first adopters and first users. And also now when we run AI strategies, bid strategies, and budget strategies for other clients, we have a dedicated team of UA managers who monitor the strategies weekly and provide us with feedback. Like, does this strategy make sense? Do they agree with this change of bids? So they look at very small granularity, and they helped us uncover, missed opportunities or maybe even bugs in the algorithm occasionally here and there. So this is like extremely helpful, and this is like where we still want to be. Although the system is fully automated, we still need this human connection. We still need this feedback from the experts. And let me tell you also about the future of where we are moving right now. So we talked about overall timeline of how AI evolved. And if we like zoom in a bit and look at how AI evolved in our specific company, in SplitMetrics, how Samba appeared, I would say there was a long tail when we tried to understand foundations, where we analyzed data, and this was like heavy research and development phase, which took, I would say, almost 2 years. And you don't even see it here. It was like before Samba 1.0 appeared last year. And what we managed to do during that period is to understand, like not only to like better understand the data, but also to understand like what should be the basic building blocks from which we can produce various architectures and various combinations of predictive and prescriptive AI parts that we can then tailor to various use cases. So the first use case was, of course, bit optimization, which was done for CPA target metric. Then it was AI bid simulator, and we showed you a picture before when you can actually obtain quite accurate daily forecasts for conversion, CPA, and spend keyword by keyword. And then the progress only accelerated, and we released as a part of Samba 2.5, we released to the wide audience ROAS-based optimization, and Thomas showed you the results we have achieved already, like in the beta phase. The next steps, and I can tell you that this first one is AI budget optimization. It's already in beta, so it's there. It's tested by some clients already, and this is where you want to optimize your budget, and you can have several situations there. One situation is you want to maybe pace your daily spend. So you can have like daily spend set up, but imagine that for a particular day, your model predict that for this day, you're going to get quite cheap conversions. So you can get your CPA below your target. Then you more probably want to increase your daily spend and to profit from this opportunity. On other days, maybe you want to decrease your daily spend. Another thing is budget allocation. You have several campaigns. On one campaign, you have systematically or occasionally you have cheaper events than on the other one with the same target. What you want to do, you want to reallocate your budget to a more profitable campaign and to use this opportunity in an automated way, ideally. Yeah, that's what we do. And if you think even further, then another very interesting use case is incrementality detection and brand incrementality detection. So essentially, you try to answer the question: should you run campaigns? What exactly are you going to get by running ad campaigns? And what is the potential of it quantitatively? Yeah, so how much capital you need to commit to a particular ad campaign on this level. So this is like the next step, but I'm optimistic because we have all the right building blocks in order to attack this problem as well.
That's truly amazing. Once again, yeah, that's really, truly amazing what we're building here, being on the forefront of this technology revolution that is happening. Yeah, maybe also here one question for the audience, yeah, just to think about, yeah. I know it might be now a very provocative question, yeah, but think about what you would be doing with 40 extra hours per month. And this is really kind of what we are advertising here, what is possible with the help of AI. So, once again, I think that looking forward, we will be seeing major shifts in our day-to-day job, in our day-to-day life. I think, like the ones that are integrating AI into their workflows will be the ones that are succeeding, obviously getting results faster, getting better results over, or spending the time more profitable at the end of the day as well for in a business sense. If you might be asking yourself now the question, okay, this sounds all great, yeah, but to be honest, I'm still a little bit confused and I don't know exactly where to start. Great news is we have an AI workflow guide for Apple Search Ads for you, prepared for you. You can, on the one hand side here, use the download link within the chat. You can scan the QR code that we're having here. We will be also sending out this guide afterwards as well. So be assured that you will be able to download it and it will help you to kind of set up a strategy and really think about how you can best integrate AI into your day-to-day workflows, especially when it comes to optimizing your Apple Search Ads campaigns. Yeah. With that being said, let's come to our key takeaways. Yeah. On the one hand side, as mentioned, AI isn't magic, it's math. The real magic happens when you combine AI with expert teams.
And as we've seen, AI has been brewing and evolving since early 1950s, so practically 70 years now. But the progress is accelerating, and it took off in the 2020s.
And when we have been talking about AI, think of it as your very motivated intern. It's not your senior, VP manager. It's your very motivated intern, which means on the one hand side, it is fast, tireless, and always learning, but not perfect yet.
And generative AI is just one type of AI, which probably collects 90% of hype right now. But there are other very useful types of AI, in particular prescriptive and predictive AIs, that you can use profitably in order to optimize the performance of your campaigns.
And as mentioned, you can already put AI to work today. So we have not been telling some, like visionary outlook what is going to happen in the future. We are talking about the present time. And as mentioned, you can already use SplitMetrics Acquire's Samba model to help you optimize your Apple ads campaigns towards your ROAS and CPA targets.
Cool.
Perfect.
Amazing. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for both for the really insightful presentation. And I see we are just on track with our time here. So I would love to leave some space for questions, which I see some have popped up in the chat, but I'm passing over to the audience now, and do feel free to pop any questions you have. And our amazing speakers will make sure to address them during the live session. So let's start with the first one here. We've got Marek asking if the AI bidding model can work for Google Ads in the future.
I would say,
Andre,
yeah.
please go ahead. I think this is a question for you.
Yes, thank you. So yes, there are no reasons why it couldn't work with Google Ads. So it's just questions. It's just a question of the data that we have. So traditionally, SplitMetrics was focused on Apple Ads, and naturally, we have plenty of data for Apple Ads, and that's why we built Samba models on top of that. But the same principles apply across other channels as well. So Google Ads is no exception.
Amazing. Thank you. Thanks for clarifying, Andre. I guess the next question then is what will be a good starting point for teams that haven't used AI in campaign optimization yet?
Yeah, so kind of, I would say, referring back to our guide, this is really kind of was exactly created to answer this question. So therefore, please be assured to check out our guide, how to set up your AI workflow for Apple Ads. On the one hand side, also, as mentioned, feel free to reach out to us from the SplitMetrics team. Feel free to reach out for your account manager and also ask them for more insights and tell them that you're interested in testing out those models. at the end of the day, I think it's really about, like many things in life, it's about testing, it's about figuring out how to get it work. And, like once you put in the work and once the train starts rolling, then, like it will continue moving fast and it will build up momentum and it will be very easy to kind of adopt to this new technology.
Absolutely. Thank you, Thomas. And would AI be more useful for scaling campaigns or for improving performance at smaller budgets too then?
That's a great question. And that's also a question that we asked ourselves when developing and releasing the Samba models. And actually, the answer to the question is yes. I would say the answer is yes. And if you start experimenting with our solution, you will see that there are several options that you can select from. You can select the option scale up or scale up strategy, where you're going to get the AI will try to get as many conversions for you as possible, but within certain target, but maybe it will be just a little bit more expensive for you, but because you are prepared and you want to scale. You can also have maintain mode, where you will target historical CPA or ROAS. It's not, it's still going to, get as many conversions or as much revenue for you as possible, but like within historical CPA. For a smaller budget, you can select like an economical option where the target will be less than historical CPA or maybe higher ROAS than historical if it's ROAS that you are targeting. But you can also try to work there. Like from experience, it and in theory, but also often in practice, it's better working for scaling in the scaling mode when you want to scale massively. However, even for smaller budgets, AI has all the advantages of automation, being unbiased, being objective, and when you have, maybe not that big spend on your campaigns, but you have many campaigns with many keywords, maybe generic campaigns, it's not practical for a UA manager to manage all this. And even in this situation, if AI does not supersede or exceed human performance, at least it will, help a human operator, UA manager, to focus on more interesting things than manage, small campaigns with many generic keywords. So the answer is yes to this question. Yeah.
For sure. And what would you say and highlight as the main common mistakes you see marketers do when adopting AI, for example?
Yeah, so I would say giving up too early because AI, it is a technology, it is a tool, as we already talked about. Yeah, so and to use this tool, it takes some time to really, get it to adopt it into your day-to-day life, to adopt it to your use cases, and to get really the benefits out of it. Yeah, it might be a little bit in the beginning frustrating, depending on which AI you're trying to use and you're trying to utilize. However, also here I would say really the great news around especially the Samba model is that it's we always had the user in mind, so which means that a lot of the, let's say, brain work, a lot of the frustration in some kind of way is happening under the hood, so that we can make it as easy as possible for you to adopt it and to get started with it. So therefore, yeah, give it a try. Don't give up too early.
Thank you, Thomas. And how would you suggest the approach being as a floating target CPA?
Yes, this. I like this question. It's like so specific and so technical. We definitely need to. You should get in contact with us, Kirill, after this webinar. So I maybe not answer your specific question, but I would say that like we released ROAS in beta version, like general ROAS, not cohort ROAS, 1 day or 3 day, quite some time ago in beta. Now it's released in 2.5 officially, and the cohort ROASes are in beta now. But what we observed in beta for general ROAS is people who optimize towards ROAS, they still have these proxy metrics that they want to check even before they have, getting their full revenue or 90% of their revenue, which can take quite some time because they already want to know what they're going to obtain at the end of the day. So they check proxy metrics, so these short-term cohort ROAS like 1D, 3D, and people who optimize CPA, they often also, and especially if there is a huge lag between the timestamp of a tap and timestamp of conversion, but still, to address this lag, people want to see a short-term metrics like CPA to understand if the conversion makes sense. So we have, within our Acquire platform, we have, the dashboards that allow you to control and observe these dynamics as well. But for such complicated scenarios, maybe you want to work together with our consultants that help you to really tailor the setup for your specific use case, I would say. Yeah.
Thank you, Andre. And I see we are just on time here. Maybe we'll address just one more question. I've got one here asking, where does AI struggle usually when applied to mobile user acquisition?
Andre, do you want to take this one? Should I take it?
Okay. So it's can AI really help reduce CPA? Yes.
I was taking the other one after. So where does AI struggle?
Where I struggle most to acquire to mobile AI? Bad data, I would say bad data, and impatience, as Thomas mentioned. So occasionally people don't understand like day-to-day dynamics. Maybe today I'm not happy, I don't understand this particular bit recommendations. I go and I change something manually. Don't do it. Like, trust the process. Keep waiting for at least like 2 weeks maybe to get your first results. Like on a day-to-day basis, you will see too much noise in your results. Yeah. So again, it's human factor. It's human factor as typically is the case.
Thank you, Andre, and thanks for the audience for the great engagement. We won't have enough time today to go through all the questions, but we will make sure to come back to you when we share the presentation and address them in there. So you can always feel free as well to drop us a message via our chat, which is available within the product platform, or also directly with our marketing team via email through marketing@splitmetrics.com. But that said, I would like to thank you all for joining us. And again, thank you, Andre, and thank you, Thomas, very much for the amazing presentation. I hope you all found this as insightful as I did, and I want to wish you a great rest of your weeks. And take care, everyone, and we hope to see you again very soon. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, guys.